All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's I don't know. It's 7 o'clock here in Texas. We're at JConf, which is a nice show here in Texas. And it says Dallas on the website. We're not in Dallas, friends. We're not. It's a lie. We're like so far away. We're in Allen or something like that, right?
The city of Allen, which is not that far away, but it definitely took a while to go from the airport to this place.
I was like, I had to because I came here and I'm like, I need barbecue. Take me to my barbecue, or I will be cranky. And so I the Uber driver took me and he joined me. Actually, he sat with me we had barbecue together.
Nice.
It was great. Yeah. But anyway, we're not there. We're not in. This is not the barbecue place. This is away. This is next to the barbecue place. If you want to go to the barbecue place, that's back. It's not here. It's elsewhere. But you know who is here? It's my friend Andres. How you doing, man?
I'm pretty good. I'm happy to be here with you. Have another opportunity to be face to face.
I know. I think rather like a hurricane or a bad COVID infection. You seem to remember when you last met me, and that was Krakow. You said.
Yeah, Krakow in June 17th.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, man. That was June this year.
Yes.
Oh, not 2017.
No, this year.
Oh, okay, yeah. We got to see each other in Krakow. That was a great show. That's a great show. This is a great show. I mean, the people are here are cool, you know. I just don't know where we are. I took an Uber here. It's fine. I know. I bet there's a way out of here too, you know. But yeah, we were in Krakow. That was a great show. Right in the middle of the summer, too. So it was nice and warm.
Yeah, that was DevOps Poland, which is one of the bigger DevOpses that happen around the world.
Yeah.
So the first one's obviously Belgium, but the biggest one is France. France is the biggest one.
France is the biggest. Although, are you going to be in Belgium?
Yes. I'll be there in 2 weeks.
I'll see you there. It'll be great. That's a good show too. My favorite show. Obviously, I love the spring conferences the most. You know, I have to. It's contractual. But DevOps Belgium last year really got me. It was really good. There's an energy in the air that I don't know that I felt in a while. You know, and I think we talked about this maybe because it's this. I don't know, because you and I've known each other for 15 years, whatever, a long time, right? Mm-hmm. And we met each other in Ireland.
Ireland, yes.
Yeah, Trinity College, and that was 2009, I think, or some of that.
2010.
Yeah? Was it 2010? Okay, yeah. So a long time ago, and so 14 years, and that show, we've met each other at a lot of shows since then, and if we had met each other, I'm sure we did. I don't remember. Who knows? I'm sure we did. But if we had met each other at Devox 10 years ago or 15 years ago, even, you know, it would have been like, oh, Android or HTML5 or whatever. You know, I don't know. What did we talk about back then?
Flash,
Flex. Yeah, that James Ward guy.
Flash and Flex.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and you know, so okay, there was I don't know. I'm not saying they were bad or whatever, but they were certainly. Then you fast forward to last year, and we were talking about arguably the single most important thing ever added to Java, virtual threads, scalability. We had GraalVM, we had native image compilation.
Yes.
We had AI everywhere. I mean, it just felt like it was the same people. It was you, it was me, it was us, you know, us people that had been there for decades now. But the excitement was so different. Java was a different thing. It felt like a different thing, you know? Whereas the ecosystem felt different back then, but Java felt the same. You know, Java was just Java. It was, you know, Java 7, and then 4 years later it was Java 8, right? And that wasn't exciting. Actually, the thing that was exciting was all these other languages at the time, precisely because Java had become so stagnant, you know.
But the good thing is that is not the case anymore.
Yeah.
So we have this 6-month release cadence that has been happening for 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
And I guess part of the excitement that you got last year at DevOps Belgium
is
that Java 21 was released a few weeks before.
Yes.
And that is still the latest LTS release. Yeah. And that's what gets people excited to move to that version. Of course, you can move to any other version. Every other version is a major release, but there are these special versions that are deemed LTS, where the different JDK vendors will give you long-term support. That's what it means.
Yeah.
Uh, but just as a consumer, you are free to choose whichever version you want to consume.
And Java 21 was brimming, overflowing with cool stuff. I mean,
Yes.
it made it a different language. I mean, virtual threads alone would have been worth the price of admission. But then the whole data-oriented programming thing, like the fact that sealed types, pattern matching, records, and smart switch
Switch
expressions,
expression, exactly.
all of those things came together. Just, oh man, what a release! I mean, to me, it was like the most exciting release ever. And then there's AI, and then there's, I don't know, all these things. This era, this energy in the air at DevOps Belgium last year was. I mean, I've talked about it all year. I can't. We all have our like in terms of like shows that have been consistently memorable for me. I don't know. Java Zone's up there. I mean, besides Spring One and besides Spring IO, right, in Barcelona. Besides those, Java Zone's pretty great for me. I love that show every time I go there.
Yeah, Java Zone in Norway. I just came from that show 2 weeks ago,
Oh,
and
so good.
it's amazing. I mean, the way that the team, the whole different Java user groups in Norway, these
Yeah.
different communities come together and able to organize such a big event, and so many sponsors, attendees. It's just amazing. I cannot really string together all the different words to express how good this thing is.
Right. Yeah, me either. And
You
we
just have to be there to experience it.
I was in Asia, so I couldn't go to this one. But we saw each other last year. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was great. You and how's your show, by the way?
Oh, she's doing great. She stayed in Mexico this time. So we came to Mexico just 2 weeks ago because we had our first conference in Mexico. You might remember J-Crit.
Jalapeno.
We did
Yeah.
the Jalapeno conference in Puerto Vallarta, which was pretty nice, our first edition. And we are so excited about this event and the outcome that we're definitely going to do it next year.
Sign me up. I want to come. Mexico. So it was in Mexico City.
It was in Puerto Vallarta,
Okay.
in the beach town.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, West
Oh.
Coast.
Oh my God. Yes, please. I mean, even if nobody comes, you're still on the beach. Life is great. Like there's no problems there. No, that sounds like a lot of fun. So yeah, okay. So anyway, like all that to say, DevOps Belgium stood out for me. It just did. Last year was like I'll never forget it. I don't know what it was. It was the people who I appreciated, and a lot of whom, because that was 2023, 2022. Not a lot of people were there because of the pandemic and weirdness and all that. So it was seeing all these wonderful people. Plus, here's Java 21. Plus, our computers talk now. They are the computer from Star Trek. Like plus, just I don't know, all of it. I mean, just that there's so much cool stuff. And so yeah, I don't know. That was a great year. So I'll see you there. That's going to be a great show. This is a good show so far. We did workshops today.
Yeah, so the main event happens tomorrow and Thursday. So it's 2 days of non-stop sessions and sharing knowledge.
jconf.dev. Good people. Again, I don't know. This is it's a small show right now, but of course that's how these things are always started, is small,
Yeah.
And then, I've decided that I'd rather prioritize friends over flash. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather, like the people that run this are our friends, right? We know them and we've known them for years. They're good people, and like I'll show up for them, and I know you will. And it's not convenient. It's not this is a many-hour jaunt for you, likewise for me. But it's good people, right? And it's going to be good eventually. It's going to be big eventually. It's already good.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus like I've been to some shows where they put a lot of money in it, but it's no fun at all. There's no heart to it, So yeah, I like the show. I like it a lot. And so anyway, I'm just really glad to see you. It's too long. I don't know. Who are you? Can you tell? I mean, I know you, but you're Java champion Andres Almiray. But give us so I don't butcher it.
So I am one of the few Mexican Java champions. I believe we currently are 6 in the world.
What? That's
6,
it?
6 Mexican Java champions so far. So we're working into making the list a bit higher.
Oh,
You can go to javachampions.org and you can see the list of all the Java champions.
Oh, you maintain that too, right?
Yes, and there is one particular page where you can see Java champions per country. So if you're listening from a country that does not have yet a Java champion, or have a few, then let us know,
Is
because
the
we're
UK the
looking
number
for
one?
people. No, it's US is the number one,
Oh.
and I think the second one is Germany.
What? Oh well, Germany.
Germany,
a lot of smart
UK,
cookies
they are
there.
second and third.
Yeah.
So that's me. I like open source. I like Java. I've been working with Java since the beginning. So I kid you not. I was still in college when someone came out opening the lab the computer lab when I was working. And said, "Forget about what you're doing today. You're gonna learn Java." That's when Java was released in May 23rd in '95. And I'm like, okay, you're done. You forget about C and C++.
Right.
Now you're doing Java, and that's exactly what I've been
Never
doing
looked
since ever
back.
since. Yeah, never look back.
Never look back.
Yeah.
It is I'm how old are you?
And for it.
I'm 40. So my experience was I was in I guess I would have been junior high, right? And when 95 I was in elementary school, but I started kind of understanding it and didn't really understand. I didn't know for years. I still didn't understand. I understood the syntax. I could make a program do the thing, but I was kind of self-taught, and I had to go to the bookstore, and it was like every day I would sit there, every weekend I would sit there with a pad of paper and write shit down, right? I didn't get why it was good. I got why it was good because it was portable, but I didn't understand. I was just because I had come from like C. I had come from imperative, not object-oriented languages, and then I read Bruce Eccles' book, right? And that was like '98, I think. So there's several years where I was just like, I get it. I'm writing Java code, but why is this better? And then Bruce Eccles' book was a thinking in Java, and it was why object orientation, and then Java is just the language it was in, So you were learning to think in Java as opposed to just writing. And I didn't know because I needed a proper introduction to computer science. I didn't have any of that. I was just a self-taught, And and I had read about it. You remember like in the 90s, people were like, remember the Corel WordPerfect Office Suite? They were gonna,
yes,
like they tried to build Java. They tried to build WordPerfect Office, on Java, and it looked like it worked. I mean, it looked like it was ready to go, but then WordPerfect's fate got worse, and at the time, the people were like advertising, "Oh, it's object oriented." You don't see that anymore. You don't see software like new feature. It's object oriented. Like who cares? It's just we take it for granted, but it was a big thing. Java was Java was on the, Mika Matsumura.
Yes,
of course, right? Old friend of ours, old friend of the community. He was if not the first, but one of the very first Java developer advocates or evangelists or whatever at Oracle at Sun, and like they had people like him on CNN. Like Java was everything. It was like the second coming or the third coming or whatever. It was just a huge deal. Huge. Now it's just like, oh, okay, Java. We have other languages. It's fine. We'll be okay. But Java back then, man, the hype was. I don't think people understand just how crazy that was.
It was quite big.
Oh yeah.
Very real.
And you're right. So when you say that somebody came into the lab and it's like, stop everything. Yeah, I get it. I remember that energy, and I was like, okay, I got to learn this. And I tried, and I just, didn't quite get there. The conference, take us to the barbecue.
Someone wants to go to the barbecue place.
Yes, go to.
You have to be here.
Yeah, there's lots of great barbecue. There's Hard 8. There's Odom's. I mean, yeah, come on, there's good stuff here. Can I get the name of the event? Well, this event is called JConf, JCONF.dev, right? That's the website.
Yes, JConf.dev.
Yeah, good event. Good event, and great people. Despite me, they let me in, but there's other really good people instead. And then of course the one, the only, the legendary Andres. Java was the bullshit language I had to do the Java programming class in. I had to do the OO programming class in. Well, okay. I don't know. I think I wouldn't be, having seen what languages have amounted to, I appreciate Java even more. Back then it was, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a little bit of ceremony that you have to do in order to write a language. But I mean, when it comes to doing OO, I think looking back at what I had to do back in the day in C and C++, Java was still way easier. Yes, It could have been easier, and Java 22 makes it easier for the onboarding, and 23 will also make it much easier.
Yeah,
that is obviously in recent years. But I mean, when you compare it to the past, it's night and day. It is definitely much easier.
Well, plus, it's the runtime, right? Like I show people this thing all the time, right? Oh, okay, that same person. said, of course, Java was what landed me a job, and I've been in that for 17 years now. Yeah, great. See, I mean, what always blew my mind was like Java was and is dynamic like the TCLs, like the Perls of the day, right? The Pythons of the day, and then later the Rubies of the day. It's dynamic. You can do the dynamic things in those languages that you can in Java. It's not they have runtimes. You can do meta programming like that. You can do crazy things. You can't quite do eval, but you can get there. You can, if you wanted to, you could build a function that takes a string, compiles it, evaluates it, and then does dynamic things at runtime. It's not hard to get there from here, and it's not something you need to be a framework developer to do. Java can do it. They just don't make it easy because why would you want to do that, right? But you could.
There are some reasons why the syntax and the way that Java language works has certain constraints.
Yeah.
And there are other languages that decide to draw away those constraints for whatever reason, and that makes reason for them. For example, did you know in Java you cannot have a space in a method name, but you can have a space in a method name in Ruby? Because it's Java, the language, that has that restriction, but the JVM does not.
Care. Oh, wow.
Exactly. So you can have other languages on top of the JVM that can lift these restrictions that Java, the language, have. And these restrictions are there in the language for a reason, so that you can think about your programs and you can do things in certain ways so that you can take advantage of all the tooling and all the things
Like
that exist
Spock.
in the Java ecosystem, Spark and the
Cucumber,
IDEs and everything like that. Yes. Whereas if you go into these more dynamic languages or things that are out of the restrictions of the Java language, those things will still have to work, of course, but the amount of effort that IDE vendors and the other tool providers have to put to support these features maybe a bit more. So in the end, yes, those additional alternative JVM languages are pretty cool. You can do wild stuff and really cool stuff.
Yeah.
But when you want to do enterprise ready stuff, it's most likely that you just circle back to Java, the language.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that language is as dynamic as those other languages, but it offers efficiencies and performances on par with like the C's and the C++.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's what blows me away even today. Is like I can do eval, but I can also write programs that, you know, like I show that energy efficiency chart all the time, right? Where JRuby is like a third more energy efficient than Ruby, which is in C.
And that's thanks to JVM.
Yeah, like I mean, just we live in an age of amazing opportunity. You know, just really good. So anyway, yeah. So do you work at Oracle? Is that?
I'm currently working at Oracle, yes.
Okay.
So technically, yes, I'm a Java champion, but I'm a Java champion alumni.
Emeritus. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. But yeah, Oracle is, they've done really good with the Java stuff. That's been, it's, you know, it's easy to say that. I can say that happily. They've been really good to Java. And then, of course, they make, you know, in my estimation, the single best SQL database, if not database, maybe even database. I don't know. Yeah, it's such a big field, but they make certainly the best SQL database out there by far. You know,
it's been the main product for many years, and of course there are many other products that Oracle offers, Java and Oracle Linux and the cloud and so many others. But if you hear about Oracle, it's most likely that is because of the database.
Well, I mean, they have all sorts of other stuff. I don't mean to imply it's the only thing. I'm just saying that database is. I don't even know. I mean, it is. It's the gold standard. Yeah, it is the old absolute best SQL database out there. It is. I mean, I use Postgres because I can't. I can't find a reason not to. But I mean, if I wanted everything, if I wanted every feature, and I wanted the best implementation of that feature, I would just use Oracle. Easy choice. You know. We were getting ready to pivot away from Java when Sun Oracle happened due to fear about where the language was heading. Now I'm glad we ended up staying. Yes, exactly. Although I didn't even have that fear. I didn't. I mean, I just for some reason I was too busy. I don't know what it was. I wasn't worried about Java for some reason. It didn't occur. I think by then it was open sourced. I thought like it would be okay. You know.
Yeah.
They open sourced it right before, right? It was like 2008, and or was that earlier?
It was 2008, 2009, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was fine. I don't know. I felt like I felt that the stagnation of the language didn't really bother me either because I don't know. I'm still able to ship software, you know. And to the extent that the language is an issue, you know, you and I both were adventurous enough to try out the languages. and that so it kept me on the the JVM is the crown jewel here, right? The JVM is the thing that
and continues to be.
like the language has gotten really really nice, and it's an amazing language. But there were other languages that are nice. I both Groovy and Scala back then. Kotlin is also very good today these days as well. There's Clojure. I mean, there's all sorts of cool stuff on the platform.
Yeah.
So other somebody's saying our other main language is Fortran. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a big fan. So anyway, hello, I'm learning Java, and there's thanks guys, and hello, I'm learning Java, and after that Spring Boot, I enjoy each minute. Thanks guys and the community for all the work you're doing. Yeah, thanks everybody. I really appreciate it too. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, Spring Boot makes things very, very easy.
And Java does too. It's a really really nice combination. These things. So anyway, the database. I was talking to Thomas Wertinger, also at Oracle, and last year at
Oracle Labs.
Yeah, Labs. Yeah, and he was saying he talked about the origin of GraalVM, and apparently it was trying to make because you can run Java in Oracle database.
Yes.
Right. But they actually used GraalVM. I guess their prototype, or at least, was to compile code natively, so it ran efficiently.
Yes.
So even there, the database is just even the database is setting the Java community up forward.
There are 3 different Java runtimes that you can run inside the Oracle database, and
really?
GraalVM is one of them.
Wow.
And the reason why, I think it was released in Oracle 21C, so in late September 2021. And it powers what is known as a multi-language engine. So that allows you to use different languages instead of using PL SQL, you use these languages to create functions. Right now, the main language that we are allowing through this multi-language engine is JavaScript. But it's likely that in the future, other languages supported by GraalVM will be also added to our database. So you just have to listen when we make the announcements.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of would like to see the GraalWasm WebAssembly stuff.
Oh, that would be great. Yes, there have been the recent announcements
and
demos about how WASM has been improved in GraalVM. And once that gets rock solid, I will say that some people will look at it and say, yeah, that kind of makes sense to add it as well. I just have to wait. Yeah.
Anyway, all that to say, that's a SQL database. That's an amazing database. You can do crazy. If it absolutely has to work, I would use Oracle. So so the big thing with Oracle is, well, first of all, I mean, even GraalVM, there's a commercial edition, but it's $0.
Yeah.
Right. So you can deploy it. I think. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but it's my understanding is that for all intents and purposes, I can deploy it almost anywhere, maybe I can't redistribute it. Probably not. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not a lawyer. Okay. I'm just saying, it looks pretty good to me. The license, the basic, the 5,000 foot overview perspective on it is even that you could take to production. Right.
Yeah.
And so that's good. And then, that's a winning. I mean, even community edition is great, but the commercial editions, good stuff. What about can I take Oracle?
Yes.
The database?
So Oracle has 3 editions that you can have a look at. The Enterprise, which is the most priced one, because it has all the features.
Everything.
And that's the one that you really want when you want to scale up to the moon. And there's the standard edition, and there's also the free edition. Now, the thing about the free edition is that we made that release. It was called at the time 23C, Developer Early Access, free, in April of 2023, the first time that the company decides to put out a version of the flagship product for developers first, before anyone else.
Oh,
right.
Wait, so this is a developer edition?
It was a developer release, exactly.
Okay.
And then later this year in 2024, in May, it was made the announcement of 23 being renamed to 23 AI and being GA. So now you can use it anywhere you want to. There continues to be a free version. There is no longer a developer with early access release. Okay. So you can use this in development, in testing, and even in production.
Okay. What's the limitations?
The limitation for this one is that it can only address up to 12 gigabytes of data.
12 gigs of data?
That's plenty. I mean, obviously, depending on the kind of services that you're running and the kind of production that you have, you may want to have more data. And
Yeah,
that's
but
when you have to look into the standard edition or even the enterprise edition.
Okay, well,
And this is the version that you can run on premises, anywhere you want to. I mean, you can download it for Linux and for Windows. And if you ask me about Mac, that sadly, until a few days ago, there was no possibility to run it easily because you can also run it on containers. So
Okay, containers.
You can run 23i free on containers, Intel based. But until 3 days ago, no, it was last week, it was announced that you can also run it on ARM chips. That means that you can run on Linux Intel or Linux ARM, and you can use container technology to run on Mac on the M chips. So now it should run pretty much anywhere.
And by the way, that also, speaking of ARM support, Oracle Cloud had those great, it has those ARM instances.
Yeah.
What's it called? Not what's the other? What's
Ampere.
Ampere. I was gonna say Ampere. I was like, oh, that didn't sound right. I didn't want to mention some other company's thing and mistake it. Yeah, Ampere. Those are awesome. Like,
Yes.
and that was actually really early access too. That was like before a lot of the other vendors had it. You could run ARM instances on Oracle Cloud, which is also cool. I used that. That was good. Nice
Yeah.
stuff.
So now that we have a version of the database that can run on ARM chips, it's just a matter of time that you can run it also the cloud version on ARM chips as well.
Wait, so what is the cloud edition?
The cloud edition is called Autonomous Database.
But is that SaaS?
It is, and it has many things, many bells and whistles. But one of the things that it can do is that it can learn about the usage that you as an administrator and the users put in the database, so it can become self-healing, self-updating, and yes, it can generate indexes on the fly when you see, oh, this table is not performing well. This kind of the thing. So one of the basic ideas behind the autonomous database is that you as an administrator can take the backseat and leave most of the menial tasks to the database.
Like backups?
Yes, it can learn about things. It can reason about, well, not reason as AI in this sense, but at least it can take care of many of these tasks that you will typically have to do manually and say, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't want this backups, I want to do these indexes, all these kind of things. No, let the database take care of that, and you as a DBA or as a developer are free to just do exactly the task at hand.
Well, there's also, I like that idea, because if you're a good developer, if you're a good, do you remember when DBAs for like a whole career?
Yeah,
and there's a reason. It's an art. It's not just a CRUD table that you built with JPA. It's, if you're using a database correctly, it's going to be a lot more involved than just the auto-generated nonsense you get.
It's more than just knowing how SQL works.
Right.
You have to really understand how the product is, what things that you can do, and it's just ACLL list and permissions and moving storage and backup.
Yeah,
There's so many things about
efficiency, queries. I mean,
it's not just coming up with the best possible query plan and optimizing queries, because that's something else that the database can do much better than a human.
Right.
There's so many other things that you have to know to be a proper DBA.
Well, so this is what, but even the data, even the query plans and the optimizations, a good DBA won't do that up front. They'll let the usage patterns bear it out, and they'll apply it when they understand what's being done. So that what you just said, like, it can look at what you're doing and then add indexes for you based on trends, based on data.
Exactly.
Oh,
And it's on your data. It's not coming from somewhere else that will say, maybe what a good idea given this percentage. No, eventually know about your production environment,
right,
and all these things that you're dealing with, so that it suits better what your particular needs.
Oh, that's so cool. So that's really cool. That's like,
yeah.
Because again, it's already the best SQL database. It's already if your question is, can it do this? The answer is yes. You don't even need to ask. So then it's like, okay, well, how do I run this thing? And I don't want to figure that out. So what I was trying to get at was, you have it on Oracle Cloud. Yeah, you can actually, like, is that the autonomous one?
It's not. Yes, the one in the cloud is called autonomous, but it's not just anymore in the Oracle Cloud. That's another thing that was announced last year, and we have made some changes. So there was a partnership with Microsoft, so you can run the autonomous database on Azure.
Oh,
that was announced last year, and then
but I can run it anywhere if I wanted to, or is it just on Azure and Oracle?
That was last year, and then when we met in June, they
Yeah.
made the announcement that you can also run it in the Google Cloud.
What?
And this September, during the Oracle Cloud World, the flagship conference from Oracle, they
Yeah.
announced that you can also run it, and you will be able to run it in Amazon, in AWS. That means you are able to run the best database in the world in
Everywhere.
the Oracle Cloud, Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. So the major cloud providers will be able to support you if you want to run this Oracle database.
What about Alibaba?
I don't know yet about that one, but if there's an announcement, you just have to wait for it.
But certainly that's three of the big four. I think, and in fact, that's probably where a lot of my audience is going to be. But there's there's that fourth one. That's a big one. I would, to whatever extent you can get. But of course, it's sort of it's a different market.
Yeah, again, we just have to wait until the announcement is posted about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. And that does the self-indexing AI goodness.
Yeah,
as well?
That's the one. That's the autonomous database. And if for whatever reason you don't run the autonomous database and you want to run the on-premise, then obviously, again, you have access to the enterprise, to the standard, and to the free edition. And any of them you can also run on containers. But if you get started with the free edition, then you can use it very easily with the Spring Developer Service. So when you build a Spring Boot application and you need a database, you will pick up something, and most likely you will use test containers to run your whole test with, right?
Right.
Well, guess what? You can use the database, the Oracle Free database with test containers, and it boots up pretty quickly. It takes like, I don't know, 10 seconds. Yeah, the fastest way, and depending on how much data you want to have, and every time that you run these things, it will take maybe a few more seconds, and that makes it very easy to run these things.
And if you go to start.spring.io, is that the right one?
Yeah, that's the right one.
If you go to start.spring.io and choose Docker Compose, and you want to do AI, you have a vector database in Oracle, right? You can use it as a vector store and a regular database, of course.
Because that's exactly that's the most recent type that was added to the Oracle database was vector type.
Yep.
So you can store vectors and you can store everything that you want to in the database. So we call this the convergent database. That means that allows you to store not just relational, but any kind of NoSQL and geospatial. And what is there? It's a column families, and there's JSON, obviously,
full
documents,
text, XML.
Yes, and now vector, and you can put everything together. And the great thing that all of those different formats live under the same roof and in the same database engine is you can query across the different formats in one single big query using SQL and SQL extensions. So you can make JSON projections as if they were JSON for the relational columns.
Oh, man.
And back and forth. So there are many advantages of using a database that provides the different storage formats. And Oracle is the one that provides the most storage format under the same roof.
By the way, this comment is the ultimate ad for Oracle's AI autonomous database.
Yeah, you don't have to tweak the queries. The database will do this for you. It will learn from your usage patterns.
Because it's really hard. And also, but even there, a good DBA will know all that stuff. And I disagree. I think also they need to know they're going to be much better at SQL, right? I can do SQL. I can create a view. I can do some triggers. I can create a function. I get the basics. I can even write stored procedures. But that's not the same as being really good at it. We've got, you and I have some mutual friends, obviously, that are, Lucas Eder, for example, and Vlad Michela they can do things with SQL that they're SQL whisperers,
Yeah, the SQL wizards.
Yeah, like that's a different level of exciting. So I don't know. That whole story is good. What's the I don't know. I didn't mean for this to turn into an Oracle stream, the Oracle database stream, but it is actually. You and I don't get to talk enough about it because it's. I don't know. It is an amazing database. I have sometimes been less than kind to Oracle, the company, but they've been amazing to Java, and that database is worth every penny.
Yeah, circling back again, you can get started with a free edition, and you can run it on premise. You can run it on Linux and Windows natively, or you can run it on any container.
Yeah.
But also, if you want to test out the autonomous database, there's also a free edition that you can have. There's also, you don't have to pay anything for it. You just have to register for the free, the always free tier that we have at Oracle. If we offer
on the cloud,
yeah,
there's a free tier.
There is a free tier that I just don't want to badmouth the other vendors, but the other vendors, they have free tiers that after 12 months, they turn out to become paid tiers.
Oh, I see what you're saying now.
Oracle doesn't do that. We have a series of resources that you can sign up, and a few of those resources happen to be 2 full instances of the autonomous database.
Wait,
Yeah, for free.
so it will work all month?
Yes.
But what's the limit? Is it is it the same 12 gigs or whatever, 10 gigs or whatever it was?
And you can address, no, that's the 23C, the
Yeah.
23 AI free that you get on premises and container. No, this one allows you to address more.
What?
I believe, I mean, you can read if you go to oracle.com/free, you can have a list of all the different resources that we offer. So there's also a load balancer. There's object storage up to 200 gigabytes.
What?
And there are 4 cloud instances in ARM, if I'm not mistaken, and 2 if it's Intel. And again, these resources will always be available to you for free. You just have to go sign up. You don't have to pay any for it.
Is there like a limit on the number of connections I can make, or?
There might be, but again, you just have to go to the page and look for everything that they list specifically. So I may be misremembering something, but I just don't want to be. Don't want to say something that is not.
No,
clear.
but that's also really good. Like, again, I would argue that if you're a startup, when you get successful, you can afford the bigger Oracle, and in the meantime, it sounds like you got everything you need.
Yeah, exactly.
To get started.
Get it started either on the cloud or on premise.
And it's just whole. I don't know. I'm getting older, and I'm less brave now. I used to feel like I could pull together all these little things, but I'm now very firmly in the camp of don't build what you can't charge for. Like I don't want to pull together a data solution with 10 different products, and I also don't. Like people complain about the prices and the cost. I'm happy to pay it because at least I don't have to maintain or run that. I don't have to, how many years it's been since I carried a pager and had to worry about it? Most of my stuff runs just fine. It's stateless. What's to worry about it? It gets restarted. So then it's just the database, and I don't have to worry about that because Oracle's running it.
You don't pay for the product. You pay for the value that it gives you.
Yeah.
So if the product gives you that peace of mind that you don't have to set up a lot of things, and it allows you to really concentrate on the task at hand instead of looking behind the curtain, and this thing doesn't work anymore, and how to update this thing, and now I have to move these things all over the place. No, don't do that. Let the product take care of that, and that's exactly what autonomous database does for you.
And that's why you and I get to sit outside and enjoy this nice weather instead of stressing about our stateful database. Yeah, exactly. Their next update or whatever. Oh yeah, what about updates, security, and all that? Is that just done for you?
That is for the autonomous version. The cloud version, yes.
Yeah. Okay. See, this is what I'm saying. Because I don't even I use GKE, for example. That's the Google Kubernetes thing, and even that, it doesn't automatically trickle down, right? You have to kind of say, okay, do it, right? And it's seamless. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying even hosted things aren't always automatic. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that's true. That it's not always automatic. Or maybe it's within they don't move you to the next major version without you opting in, something like that. Anyway, the fact that you can do it with the day. So is there downtime? There must be downtime.
Well, it depends on how you have your things set up. So there will always be a configuration knob for you that you can set for, I really want these updates to come through automatically, so you don't have to think about things, or you want to have a little more control, of course. So it's not like the product will simply decide to do things completely without your consent, if we can say it this way.
Right.
So you will always be able to go back. You will always be in control. You always be able to tell the configuration how to do things.
Wow.
It's just that you don't have to worry too much about things when you have everything set up.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I want, is to not have to worry about it. Yeah. We're meeting on the same page. Yes. I've got so little hair now. Since we first met, it's getting worse and worse every year. And yeah, I don't want the database to be a reason to lose hair. Yeah. It's all good. Okay, I don't. What were we going to talk about to begin with? We turned into. I've got to go. I want to go try out this Oracle database stuff again. But that wasn't. I think we're going to talk about something else. What's the good word? What's I don't know. Let's do Oracle. Fine. I don't know what we're going to talk about. I forgot what the initial impetus for this conversation was. But either way, I'm excited.
Well, so perhaps putting this conversation a little bit back into the spring set of technologies. One of the things that happened recently, also very close to June, if I'm not mistaken, is that a serious support request was accepted for the Spring AI project
Yeah,
to support the Oracle database vector type.
right.
So
We just talked about that. Yeah.
yeah, so you can now use Spring AI and the Oracle database together
Yes.
much nicely, much like native way, instead of doing something weird to store your vectors that were created with Spring AI
Ah,
and put it directly into the database. So now this thing just happens because there is good support, and as a matter of fact, there is a good chemistry with the Spring Data teams, members of Spring Data and Oracle, and now
Yeah.
we're hoping that we can get the same thing with Spring AI and any other teams within the Spring and now Broadcom.
Yep.
So that if they need any support from Oracle, if they need some sort of integration, my team is always open to have these kind of discussions.
and also both companies have red logos. See, we both like Java. I feel like there's a
There's some sort of connection.
there's a connection there. Beyond our collaborations on different engineering efforts. Yeah. The Spring Data stuff. I mean, people don't know the original sort of Spring Data when it first came out in 2011. Before that, we had some Oracle. We had some like proprietary Oracle specific functionality in the very first versions of Spring Data, right? Because there's some even back then. Spring Data originally was it still is. It's not. I mean, it was a NoSQL plus JPA, and then we had these like specific things for JDBC in Oracle, and just extensions that made it even more awesome. We've always had this good, symbiosis there. Yeah, Oracle's its own thing. It's always been it's a wonderful database. I mean, or it's been a wonderful technology, and it fits in this Spring Data project because of it. You can do these really exotic. Is that the right word? Really interesting, unique things. I figured the nature of those early extensions. But anyway, when you say that, it's not surprising that there's this good synergy. The Spring Data team is amazing.
Yeah, and thanks to many advancements that different teams inside Oracle have done, now you can download the JDBC drivers for Oracle from Maven Central. Just like any other driver. So this started in September 2019. So it's not that new, but it was groundbreaking because it allowed Spring and Hibernate and so many other integrators to just download the drivers just like any other database.
Huge.
And the fact that you can also have these database images that you can run on containers, the free version, and compound it with test containers. So this is what Spring Data and the Spring AI use for testing their latest versions and the latest developments.
Yep.
So you as a consumer of Spring technologies can do the same as the Spring teams. You can download the JDBC drivers from Maven Central, and you can use these images with test containers.
So good. Okay. What's the I don't know. I really liked the autonomous database thing. I actually did spin up for a brief minute. I wanted to just try it. Like a couple of years ago, I tried when Oracle Cloud was starting to get really interesting again. Because when it first came out, it was interesting, and then I disappeared. And then they had the Ampere stuff, and that was a couple of years ago. I remember I first started looking at that, and it's like, oh wow, that is so cool. Because I'm a big believer in ARM. I'm sure you've got an M1, right, or an Apple Silicon of some sort. The ARM stuff is just it's too good. And then Oracle Cloud. Some of the earliest support I saw for ARM was in Oracle Cloud, which is, bully. Good for them. Well done.
Yeah, and we have plenty of data centers around the world. So if you happen to live close to, in a region where there is an Oracle data center, then certainly consider to switch to the Oracle Cloud.
Isn't there? It's probably, I don't know. Okay. Yes. I agree with you, but I didn't know there were regions where it wasn't near.
Well, for example, there are 7 data centers in just Latin America alone.
Well, it's a huge area, but still, that's pretty great, right? Like
because the big competitor only is still working in building the second data center. Yes, they have a big one, obviously, in Brazil.
Sure.
And the second one they're building is in Mexico. Oracle has 2 in Mexico alone.
So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, why not?
We are well serviced. That's great. Yeah, okay. That's a good point. I don't know. It's good. It's really good. Okay. Yes. Maybe we should do a Spring and Oracle stream at some point. Yeah, code, hands-on, do that kind of a thing.
Yeah, that was great, definitely.
But you would have to hold my hand because I Well, I mean, it feels like the start.spring.io and the test containers, Docker Compose. By the way, you mentioned the test containers. You go to start.spring.io, you choose Oracle, and then Spring Data or Spring AI or whatever, and you can either get Docker Compose or test containers or both, right? So it's not just test containers; it's both, and so that's easy. I could figure that out, right? But I really think I would love to sit with somebody who understands the database and see some of the cool features. I'm forever I'm always just blown away. Like
the latest edition, by the way, is focus on developer experience and being more developer friendly. So, for example, did you know that Oracle for many years did not have a Boolean type?
I think I did know that, but I used a bit.
Yes, there are many ways that you can fake Boolean type. But now, finally, we have a native Boolean type in 23 AI. But not only that,
are the table names still like?
That I will have to check. But so we also have these additions for no longer have to do a when you want to do a kind of like a select whatever from dual.
Just to do
very common. You
can't do select
can,
one.
Yeah, you can do select one.
You can?
Yeah. No longer have to do from dual. But also, there was another thing that it really annoyed me that other databases had, but Oracle didn't until just recently, which is drop whatever table if not exist.
Right.
If not exist or
it's
if
so
exists
useful.
clause. Yes.
Yes. And create table if not exists.
Yeah. Or drop view or
right.
index or stuff like that did not used to be in Oracle in the past, but now in 23 there is.
Really?
Yes, finally. So that means that if you have to do with DDL directly, or is the integrators like Hibernate or the JPL, all other things that have to generate SQL code, now have a much easier time because they can use the sentences that other vendors support.
Oh, this is huge, but I feel bad for Flyway.
That's all. Well, you can still use this.
I know,
it's
but
just less code.
With Flyway, you had this like semaphore. It would keep it wouldn't create the table unless the table. It wouldn't create the schema if there's already a version in the Flyway history table.
Yeah. And
so you never had that problem with Flyway in Oracle because it was checking the state there and not trying to apply something that was already created. But for this is huge.
So these are only a handful of features that maybe perhaps the flashy ones, but there are other features that were developer experience that add explicitly into the database to enhance the developer experience. It's a product not just for DBAs, but also for developers.
And those are all very useful. Everything you just mentioned, I didn't realize they didn't have them, and I'm really excited they do.
Yeah,
that's even easier. Maybe
So now, if you come into the Oracle database now, you wouldn't realize that these things were there in the past. Now you are able to use them just like anywhere else.
You know what I think I'm realizing? I think all the examples of me using Oracle have always been with somebody else's installation. Somebody else did the hard work of starting it, paying for it, all that, and I just got to come in and like write queries against it. And now you're making all these great. You're suggesting all these great things are there, and it's making me think, well, I could get started and not feel friction, right? The deployment management, setting up, installing, creating tables for initially, iterating with code, all that stuff would be as I would expect it to be when using the distinguished competition.
The quickest way to get started is use a container runtime, whether you want to use Podman or Docker, and they say Podman run or Docker run, and point it to the free images, and off you go.
I can use the free one in production for sure.
Yes. Because we changed the license. It's called the UTC, the Free Use Terms and Conditions.
Okay.
There are no restrictions for production. It's the same license as the JDC drivers.
Yeah.
So no limits.
What about the Oracle Express stuff? Is that still around, or?
That is the oldest version. So that exists for version 11 up to 19, I think.
That is
no, until 21.
Wow.
Yes. And on 23 onwards, we have the free edition, which is
okay, but so it subsumes that, or
yeah. So it's definitely way better than XE.
And the Oracle Express, I don't know if I could use that in production either.
You could version 19 and 21, I think.
Okay. Well,
for sure 21.
Yeah, this is great. This is a nice situation to be in. And there's no, it's the full database. I remember Oracle Express being a little bit.
Yes, is the full database.
All right, well, sign me up.
So give it a try. Again, it's very easy to get started.
This is good. The I don't know. Okay.
Just go to database.oracle.com/free, and off you go. That is for the database free version. And if you want the free cloud version, it's cloud.database.oracle.com/free. Easy.
You know, I will knock you on one. Not you. I'll knock Oracle on one thing. The naming has always been terrible, but your DNS foo is amazing, right? Like the Oracle Enterprise whatever grid. I never understood it, never got it, but this is great. I understand this. I can do this. Database.oracle.com/free.
Yeah,
that it's almost as good as Start.Spring that I can keep that in my head.
That's very good.
Yes. All right, let's leave it there. I think we're good. I actually want to just sit there and write some code with you. So
we'll figure out a time on the next occasion.
what about now?
You want to go?
Yeah, I want to try. Like I can't be that bad. We'll hang up with these nice people. I just want to see. I'm on the hotel Wi-Fi. You know, like we can download these containers pretty quick. Okay, bye everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Bye. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Have fun.
Bye everyone.
Bye. 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 Go build something cool. Have fun. Bye.